This conference will now be recorded.
So, welcome everyone for the free workshop on Git. Before we get started with the topic, I just wanted to know how many of you heard the word Git or how many of you heard the word GitHub. Please type it in the chat window. Sorry, if you're not talking anything about the class, yeah, straight away. You heard of Git? That's great.
అవును చెప్పిన కదా నీకు వాడుకొని
Yeah,
చెప్తున్నా.
yeah, please type your answers in the chat window. I'll go through your answers in the chat window. Okay. So, I guess most of the people have the word Git. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So let me share. Let me share my. So most of you have heard the word Git. So let me share my screen. Hope you are able to see the image. Hope everyone is able to see the screen.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So we all know and understand what is Git. Instead of wasting time on what is Git, let us understand what is the purpose of Git. Git is a version control system that helps you track changes in your code base over time. Okay. So we are all automation engineers or developers. So what is the purpose of the Git? We need to keep a track of changes of whatever code changes you have made over time. Because if you lose track of changes, you will not understand where your issue is coming, what is the exact reason why it is failing and all the stuff. Git is a distributed environment. That means what? Now, for suppose I pick 5 people. Suresh, if you are unable to see, yeah, Suresh, if you are unable to see, you can rejoin again. So I'll give a quick intro about me later. Srinivas, just after this. Okay. Git is a distributed environment. That means every developer will have a full copy of entire history of the project. That means what? Whenever you take the latest code from the Git, every developer or every automation engineer who is working on it will have the entire history of the project. Okay. So Git allows you to create different branches for different features. Like for suppose we are all working in a project. So I can have a separate branch for Anaga, separate branch for Samaya, separate branch for Arjun, Srinivas, Nitya, Monisha. I can have separate branches for separate people so that everyone can work independently. And since since I'm the head of the operations, I can integrate your complete code into one branch where I'll merge all your changes. So Git is also integratable with various other tools like GitHub, Jenkins, etc. So with Git also you can, as I've told you, we can keep a track of the changes. And in addition to that, we can also see who made the changes, when they have made the changes, what they have made the changes. We can also have a detailed logging mechanism with the help of this Git. So let me introduce myself quickly. This is Sairol Palwa, having over 8 years of experience in automation testing, where I've worked with several projects with Cucumber, BDD, and also been part of various automation hackathons that is happening currently across the world. Where I've been in where one of the frameworks that I've developed is always is in the top 10 in the world. So this is a quick intro about me. And I always feel like having a knowledge of Git is essential not only for developers, for testers also, because we are all becoming or about to become automation engineers. So for that reason, we all need to know the essentials of Git. That is why this free workshop is. Clear? Clear, guys? Any questions, any doubts regarding the purpose of Git? Okay. So this is the purpose of Git. So previously to Git, how many of you have heard the word SVN? How
Yes,
many
it's
of
a
you heard the
virtual
word?
control system. It's a
Yes,
virtual
yes.
control system.
Yes, yes. It's a version control software. Yeah, Sudhe, tell me. You have any question? Sudhe, you
No,
have
I
any
just
question?
said that no question. Just said that
Okay.
yes, that is another version control system.
Yeah. Idoko, I'll explain you what is the difference between Git and GitHub sooner. Just give me 2-3 minutes. So in the olden days, we all used to use this SVN, correct? Before Git came into picture, we all used to use the word SVN, Git control system SVN. So Git is more of a distributed version control system. SVN is a centralized control version of control system. So SVN operations often require network access to central server. That means what? We always need to the central server all the time, which makes it slower than Git. Whereas Git is a distributed environment. Because of its distributed environment, confirming the changes, committing the changes are generally faster because they involve local operations. And when we work with SVN, we have to connect to the central server all the time to confirm the changes. Git scales with large projects due to its distributed nature and efficient handling of projects. Well, SVN can handle large projects too, but it can become less efficient as as soon as the number of users increase. Like it becomes less efficient because if a team of 5 members is using SVN, can you mute your mics, please? So when you are using SVN for larger projects, it will be less efficient because multiple users will be connected to the centralized architecture. If multiple users are directly connected to the server, obviously the performance will take a hit. That is the problem with SVN. As Git is a distributed environment, it scales well with larger projects because it has an efficient mechanism of handling different branches. So Git has a steeper learning curve. It has a great learning curve, Git. Whereas SVN has a simpler command set and all, but still we need to know the have a basic understanding of version control concept. Since every developer has a full copy of the repository history, there's a less risk of losing historical data. That means what? Since Git is a distributed system, every developer will have a full copy of the code base. Suppose if the central server fails, like some in the GitHub servers, if the code has been lost or something, the backup will be present with any of the developers. So with the help of that backup, we can continue our work. Whereas SVN is not like that. If the central server fails, there's a high risk of losing all the data. Got it? The only thing we need to remember is it's a very famous interview question, guys. It's a very famous interview question that you'll be asked when in the first rounds, that what is the difference between Git and SVN? Because we are hearing the word only Git everywhere. So what is Git? What is SVN? The people want to know, do you have knowledge on both the version control systems? That is the reason they ask. The first premium question is, what is the difference between Git and SVN? Are the points clear so far? Any doubts? So Suresh, is the noise still coming or is it okay? Is the noise still coming, Suresh? Uh, okay. Okay. Just a moment.
Hello, sir. Are you there?
Now we are able to hear?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, yes, we
So,
can hear now.
so what was the last point we were discussing? Can anyone tell me what was the last point we are discussing?
GitHub versus SVN.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
coming to Git and GitHub, Git is nothing but an open source version control where the developers store, track, and manage code locally within your system. Okay, all the tracking of your code will be done locally within your system or within your laptop or within your desktop. GitHub is nothing but a cloud-based sharing platform where you can store, share, and work together with others to write a code or write a project. Got it? So, Madhupriya, the difference between SVN and Git is a distributed system, SVN is a centralized system. That means if you want to connect to SVN, you need to connect to the centralized server location all the time. Git is nothing but it's a distributed system. That means you need not connect to the Git server all the time. There is a see, you need to connect your remote repository. That is more than enough for a Git. You need not log into the GitHub server and work with Git. Yeah,
So
Priya,
I've got
good.
one question. Is it the same as Bitbucket? The GitHub, is
Sorry.
it the same as Bitbucket?
See, Git
Bitbucket.
is a platform. Git can be integrated with GitHub, Bitbucket, and all. Okay, that's also a cloud-based hosting platform.
Okay.
Both are same. GitHub, Bitbucket,
Mm-hmm.
everything is like different vendors for Git. Even you have Azure as another vendor for Git. Everything is same. It's a cloud-based hosting platform where it allows you to collaborate or work with different people. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Got it? What is GitHub or Bitbucket or Azure, TFS? All these things comes under this pointer. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
See, the differences ideally would be mainly on the features part. GitHub, Bitbucket, Azure TFS. Mainly there will be some differences on the features side, but the behavior is same. We will focus on the behavioral part only. We will not see on the differences part because everything is same. The Git commands remains the same for all these things. Got it? And the main
Yes.
difference lies in some security level, some enterprise level architecture, something like that. Okay?
So I've got one question. So you mean that even if we are using Bitbucket, we can still use Git commands to perform
Yeah, Git
the
commands remains the
server
same.
action?
Yeah, Git
Okay.
commands remains the same. It's just like Java, how Java is platform independent, Git is also platform independent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So without wasting much of our time, I hope everyone is clear with the differences SVN and Git and GitHub, Bitbucket and Azure TFS. Is everyone clear with these differences?
But for Azure and TFS, we can still use Git commands.
Everything can be used with Git commands. There is no issues with that. Unless and until your editor is IntelliJ. Okay? If you are using Eclipse, then Azure TFS won't, the integration with Azure TFS is not so friendly. So I prefer you to work with IntelliJ if you want to have a smoother Git commands to be executed. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sir, I
Yeah.
have a question. Like you mean to say like Git is like control systems. GitHub is basically so these the Azure and all these are platforms
Yeah, these are all
to implement
platforms.
the
Like,
Git.
see, this is a cloud-based platform. See, Git is what? Who asked the question? Who asked the question?
Yeah, this Vandana here.
Yeah, Spandana. So whenever you're working in your system, now whatever code you write, the version control system within your system is done by Git. Now, Spandana, you have written a code. Tomorrow, Priya will work on the same project. So, how do you both work together on a common platform? That is called as a GitHub or a Bitbucket or a Azure TFS. Got it?
Ah, okay, okay, got it.
See, it's in companies. It's not about Spandana working for the company or not Priya working for the company. It's as a project working for the company, right?
Hmm.
That's the thing. That's the main difference. It's a cloud hosting platform, like how Google Drive is a cloud sharing platform where you can share photos, videos with your family members. The same thing. I hope all your doubts are clear.
Okay.
And can we jump into the Git commands and the architecture?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not talking anything, if you're not asking any questions, just keep your mics on mute. That's one humble request. So I just created some basic project. You need not create any basic project. Just I wanted to showcase you different things. That is why I created a separate project. There is no coding here. I'm just creating some files and all. So everyone knows how to install Bash for Git commands. Yes, Uday. We'll be sharing a document after the class, but please stay till the end of the class. So how many of you know how to install Git Bash?
No, I don't know.
Sorry, you don't know. Okay. Okay. I'll just give you a quick overview of how to install Git Bash. So you need to say git bash download. This software must be downloaded and installed in your systems in order to work with GitHub. So I click on this downloads link. Based on your operating system, click on this operating system. So if mine is Windows, since yours is Windows, download the 64-bit standalone installer if you are a Windows user. If you are a Mac OS user, please install Homebrew in your system. Once you install Homebrew in your system, you can use brew install git. Got it? Got it, everyone? For Linux, Git is
Is
installed
Git
by
and
default.
Git are different?
Sorry, Kumar.
Git and Git are different.
See, Git bash is your terminal to execute your Git commands. Without installing Git bash, you
Okay.
cannot execute any Git command.
Okay. What about Git? Git also need to install.
Sorry?
So Git bash okay terminal. Git also should be install.
No need. Git bash will take care of everything.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay? So, I will download the Windows version. I'll download the Windows version and you can set up it by yourself by clicking on next, 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 next. You need not make any changes. For Mac OS people, you need to run this command in your systems to install the Git. Okay? For Linux, by default, Git will come. By default, the Git will come. Okay? If you don't get Git based on your Linux version, you need to use these commands to install your Git because Linux has so many versions, guys. Arch Linux, OpenSUSE, Magia, NixOS. There are so many versions of Ubuntu. But by default, Git will be installed in Ubuntu or Linux. Okay? Mac, you need to run this command, brew install git and all. For Windows, you need to download this setup file. Okay? You need to download this setup file and you need to click on next, next, next so that Git will be downloaded. Okay? Okay? So that's the one thing. So assuming that your Git is installed, Git bash is installed. Yeah. So this is one basic project that I have. Okay? This is a basic project I have. So what I will do, I will create a file here. What is this file? Sample file.txt. Okay? What I'll do, this is my first line of data. I'll be writing this code like this is my first line of data. Got it? When I say this is my first line of data, what will happen? This file is part of the Git. Yes or no? Is this file part of a Git? I didn't do anything. I just created a file and did it. So this file is not part of a Git. Okay? Since this file is not part of a Git, how do you ensure that this file is part of a Git? So what we need to do, we need to initialize this project to a Git. So let me, okay, let me, okay. Just a moment, let me, Okay. Now the command we have to run is git init. What happens when I run the command git init? Can anyone tell me what happens when I
Initialization.
run? Sorry?
It's a initialization.
Yes. So what will happen here? It will initialize the git project. Initialize the current project to a git repository. Got it? This is the meaning of git init. Got it? So it should be initialized only once per project. Suppose if you are working on a new project, the first thing you should do is git init. It should be done on project. Got it? Okay. Once I say git init, then what I will do? Let me do the thing. Let me do the activity. So if you want to run the command git commands, you can do it in two ways. So if you are working on IntelliJ, guys, if you are working on IntelliJ, you'll be seeing this terminal option here, Alt F12. You'll be seeing this terminal option here. You can run your git commands there, or else what we can do. Let me take the path reference. You can go till the particular path. Okay, you can go open that folder in the Windows Explorer, and you can type command prompt. Yeah, you can type command prompt to execute the git commands. You can execute your git commands in two ways. One is in the terminal of IntelliJ, another one is through command prompt. Is this point clear? Give me yes in the chat box if everyone is clear with the point.
Is it the same way even if we do it from Visual Code, VS Code?
Yes, the terminal is same everywhere.
Okay.
I'm just giving you alternate options how to use terminals. Okay, it's up to you guys. Whichever project you have, you can navigate to the project manually and you can open the command prompt there and execute the git commands. Got it? So when I say git init, the command, so what it will say? Initialized empty git repository in this project. So let us see whether this initial git is created or not. If you see git init, the hidden folder is created like this .git. Got it? In this hidden folder, you will have all the details about the hooks. I mean, all the details about this git actions that we have performed. Ideally, we
But
didn't
where
do
does
anything
it
right
create
now.
the folder?
Sorry.
Where does it create the folder after the initialization? I mean, after
Here you're
writing the
seeing
git.
this git. Automatically, when you use git init, this folder will be created here in a hidden format. The folder will be
Okay.
hidden here. Okay. Clear?
Yes, yes, got you.
So I use git init. Now what is the next thing? I've added one file called as sample file. Now what I need to do, I have to move this file to the git, right? I have to add this file to the git, right? Yes or no? So before that, what we need to do, we need to always use the command git status. If you use the command git status, na, it will tell us how many files have been untracked. Okay. Then always we need to use git status, guys. Git status is a mandatory thing you need to follow. When you use git status, what will happen? Displays the list of files that are untracked or yet to be committed. Got it? Clear, everyone? When you use git status, it will say which are the files that are yet to be committed or untracked files. What do you mean by untracked files? Untracked files are something that are yet to be added to the git. Okay. Untracked files are something which are yet to be added to the Git.
Added to the Git means like added to the repo? Like what?
Yes, added to your Git repository in the local.
Okay.
There are two repositories. I'll showcase you. There are two repositories that we actually deal with. Got it? Now what we need to do? It is saying like you have to add the files. What is the command that we need to use? Git add whichever
Dot.
files you want to add. Sorry?
Git add dot.
That particular file path. I will say git add this form.xml. Got it? Got it, everyone? So this git ignore is something like which is used in a situation like if you want to avoid some directories that you don't want to check in forever, we can use this git ignore. So how do you put this git ignore? You have this .git ignore file. Once you use .git init, this git ignore file will be created. In this git ignore, already some folders have been excluded. Like it has generated some file which will be excluded automatically based on the editor. For IntelliJ, these are the default files that will be executed. For Eclipse, these are the files that will be excluded. NetBeans, VS Code, Mac OS, these are some files that will be excluded. So some template will be generated. So I don't want this idea folder should be to be checked in or to be displayed also. So if I write .idea, the whole folder will be skipped. Got it? Is everyone clear with what is git ignore? Because this is one of the important concepts, guys. You need to understand git ignore. Is this clear, everyone? What is git ignore?
Can
No,
you
sir.
repeat
Can you just
once?
repeat it once again?
So this git ignore is something that if you want to exclude some directories that should not be recognized by a git, you will use this git ignore. Like so for suppose I don't want this .idea folder should never be a part of a git. I can add those directories or folders here so that what we are telling to git that you need to ignore these folders during any git operations. Got it? Clear, everyone?
Yeah. May I know why you need to ignore some of the directories?
See, this .idea,
When
some files are there which are absolute junk for a project. These are something that gets generated automatically within your project as soon as you run the code at an editor level. If you push all these changes, then if the other person is working on it, he will get all these junk files. Okay, you are working in IntelliJ. Tomorrow, other person is working in VS Code. So he'll get all this junk .idea files, or you'll be receiving .junk all the junk files from .vs Code, right? So in order to avoid all the junk files, we use this git ignore. Got it?
so how can we identify those junk files? Is it like in the command prompt you run whichever is not synced
It's
with
not like
Git?
that. Over
So
experience, you'll understand this. Over when you work with the project, you'll understand. As of now, this is a template that has been given by the git ignore. This is a template already that is generated by git ignore. So when we are working with IntelliJ, I know that .idea folder is something which is useless for us. Similarly, when you keep on working, you'll understand what are the unnecessary folders. You will avoid it. Got it, Shekhar?
okay,
Over experience, you'll understand which folders you have to ignore it, which folders you have to include it.
but this is a mandatory step which we need to execute to
Yeah, it's
avoid
a
these
mandatory check.
unnecessary files. Okay,
Yeah, it's a mandatory
fine.
check. So Shravanti, in Mac also, before you joined, I've discussed how to install Git in Mac. So Git is a platform independent. The behavior remains the same. Okay. Okay. So now I've added this file. Now I've added this git ignore. So if you want to check whether the git ignore is working properly or not, you again use git status. Now you see .idea folder is ignored, right? Yes or no? .idea slash folder is ignored now. Only these three files are there. Got it?
Yep.
Got it, everyone?
Yes.
Now I will add dot get ignore also. Clear?
But then you should define which files or directories you want to ignore before writing that.
Yes. Before you are committing the changes, you need to be pretty sure of which one you want to ignore it. Because once they are committed, they cannot be ignored at a later point of time.
Yeah, but then in the command, should we also specify the name of the folder?
Sorry?
Should we specify the name of the folder that need to be ignored
Yes,
when
that is what we are
we
doing.
are writing this ignore?
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
what we are doing. We are ignoring that particular folder.
okay,
If you don't mention, specify which folder to ignore or which file to ignore, how it will recognize? So that's a must, mandatory.
right.
So it displays the list of files which are yet to be tracked or untracked. Then later what I will do? Then I will say git add. Okay, git add that particular file name. So what will happen now? Adds all the files to the GitHub repo. Got it? Sorry, Git repo. Sorry. Clear?
Yeah.
Now, suppose you are pretty sure that you want to add all the files, you can use. Okay, there's another command that you want if you want to add all the files at a time. So there's another command. What is that another command?
Git
Git
add dot.
add double hyphen all to add all the files to the Git. Clear? There are two ways to add the files to the Git. One thing you can use is git add double hyphen all. One is git add that particular file name or folder name. Got it? Clear, everyone? Is this clear? Any doubts?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Now I added all the files to the Git. Now what I need to do, it is saying like what is the next thing that is asking us to do? Changes to be committed. That means you are confirming that these are the changes I have done in my code. Got it? These are the changes I want to do it in my code. So how will you confirm the changes? Git commit hyphen m means message. Whenever you're committing your code, you need to give a message or the reason why are you confirming the changes. It's just like git add means what? You're going to write an exam. You're going to write your exam. Okay, writing an exam is called as a git add. Submitting the answers to your invigilator is called commit. That means what? Whatever answers you have written in the answer sheet is the one you're submitting. That means you're confirming that these are your answers. So like that, git commit hyphen m. I'll say first push of the code. Got it? Got it, everyone?
Yeah.
So this is how we commit the changes.
So we don't need to specify any file name over here, or it will
Nothing,
commit all the
because
files.
yeah, it will commit all the files because you see here changes to be committed. If you see git status, these are the files. It will mention that these are the files that needs to be committed. So whatever files you have added to the git, it will it will understand that okay, these are the files I have to commit for it. Got it?
Okay. So if,
Yeah, add
for
means you are
example,
saying adding the files to the Git repository, right?
Yeah, the local git repository.
What do you mean by push in that case?
Hmm?
Push. What do you mean by push?
What you mean by?
push.
Push command. Push is there often,
I'll
right?
tell you. I'll
PUF
tell you.
push.
Hold on, guys. I'll tell you. I'm not
Okay,
at
okay,
reached to the point.
okay, okay.
Okay. Git commit hyphen m is first push of the code. So what it is saying, I have pushed 4 different files and I have inserted 74 lines. It is saying like 4 files have changed and 74 lines have inserted. Got it? Got it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Can we commit
One quick
specific
question.
files?
Sorry.
Push means modifying existing files, right?
M means message. Hyphen M means is a message. So generally, if you want to commit a single file, we don't have such mechanism. Ideally, you can use git add. See, when you're adding the files on, you need to be very careful of which files you have to add. So whatever files you have added only will be considered for the commit. Got it? Got it, everyone?
For example, if
So
a couple of folks working on the same project, so the two
your voice
persons
is
need.
pretty low. Speaker, I need it to be more.
Okay, yeah, my question is, if there are two persons working on the same project, so they have to do this activity from their end, from their terminal?
Yes, yes. They have to do this activity from their terminal also. Your I'll show you. I'll show you. See, your GitHub repository remains the same, but Git will be separate. Your Git is separate. Your peer Git is separate. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Rahul,
Git is a local repository. GitHub is a remote. It's a cloud sharing repository. I'll show you. Okay.
Rahul,
Yeah.
Suresh this side.
Yeah.
If we by mistake we added the files, like you said, it will if we give commit, it will add the all the files which are added. If we want to
Hmm.
remove the files, is there any command for that? I mean,
That is
it,
advanced. I'm not a see. First, we are in the first
oh,
step of the
fine,
workshop.
fine, fine.
We are yet to
Okay,
we
fine.
are yet to reach.
Understand, understand. No, just want to confirm.
we
Is there
have we have
any?
the possibility. See, Git is a very vast subject. Even if I want to
Okay,
discuss all the Git commands, it will take around 7 to 8 hours for me to cover the whole Git concepts also. Okay.
understand. Fine, thanks.
So if I
I got
don't
the answer.
commit the added files, yeah, thanks, Rish. So Anaga, if I don't commit the added files gets removed, it's not like that. Adding and committing. Adding means we are adding to the repository. Committing them or not is up to you guys. Committing the files or not is up to you. But if you commit only, the changes will be tracked. If you don't commit, the changes will not be tracked, Anaga. Okay. So what about git add dot? So I would suggest that is not a great practice to do. Always you'd git add double hyphen all or git add hyphen file. Git add the particular file path. Git add dot is not a good practice. Okay. So
So
git
what do you
commit is
mean by
done.
tracked? Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Like, what do you mean by tracked?
Where you see the word tracked?
No, you just told like if you don't commit, it will not be tracked, right? So exactly like what do you mean by tracked there?
Yeah, see, track means now tomorrow. Yesterday you made some changes in the file. You made some changes in the file. If you don't commit now, whatever changes that you have made today and yesterday will be committed at once. But you'll not have a history of what are the code that you have written, because if you don't commit the files, now you cannot do a comparison like what are the code changes that you have made for yesterday and today. Got it?
Okay.
Got it?
The history you cannot see.
See, you can't see the history. See, Vandana, we are all coders. As coders, what we deal with it. We want to keep a track of our daily changes, right? Suppose Suresh has made a change in that particular file and you did not commit, you will lose your changes also, right?
Yeah, correct. Got it.
Yeah, Suresh, tell me.
No, no, nothing.
Yeah, please lower your hand if you are done.
I
So
have a
now,
query.
yeah, please.
If we added three files, and if we want to remove one, I mean to say, on if we want to
That
commit
is what I'm
only.
telling to Suresh. That is what I'm telling to Suresh. We're just at the baby steps. Please hold on, okay? Suresh also has
Okay.
just now the same question. Now I have confirmed my changes. Okay. Now I need to create a repository in the GitHub. How do you create a repository in the GitHub? So all of you sign up for github.com. If you don't have github.com, please sign up for github.com. Okay. How do you sign up for github.com? So you click on sign up, enter your username and password, enter your email ID, enter your password, verify your Git account by in the email ID, and then your GitHub account will be created. It's a very simple process. It will take hardly 2 minutes to create your GitHub account. So once that is created, I click on new. So once I click on new, I can put my own repository name. Git repository underscore 15th September. Okay, this is my name. You can make your repository public, private, and whatever you want. As of now, I'll maintain a public repository. Okay, as of now, I'll maintain a public repository. That is not a problem. So I click on create repository. So once I click on create repository, this is your Git. This is your GitHub repository that is being created. Got it? This is the GitHub repository that is being created. Yeah. So copy this repository. Then I say git remote. When I say git remote, it refers to the GitHub. Got it? One moment. Let me finish the diagram part. Then I use git commit -m message to confirm the changes that are added. Got it? Clear, everyone? Any doubts, guys, so far? Now, once the changes are added, code is committed. Code is committed successfully to the local repo. Then what is the next step? Then we are adding a git remote. We are adding a GitHub repository using a git remote command. When I say git remote, that means it refers to the repository that is present in GitHub or Bitbucket or Azure TFS. Got it? Got it, everyone? So it is not necessary to give the same name. You can give a different name. That is doesn't matter. Naming doesn't matter. Okay. So git remote add. I want to put a variable name. You can put whatever variable name of my choice. What is my variable name? Space. What is my git URL? This is my URL. Okay. Got it, everyone?
Yeah,
Uh,
got it.
So,
one quick
can
question.
you repeat means what is exactly using by
Sorry.
remote? Can you explain once
Remote
again
means
about remote?
Kumar. See, remote means this is the remote, right? This GitHub slash espiral 333 slash this repository dot git is a remote, right? That means it is external to my current git. Yes or no? This is a repository that is
Okay.
external to
Yes,
my
yes.
local repository. So if I push the changes here only, then you will understand that okay, these are the changes I've made. If I don't push it here, you'll never ever get to know what I'm doing, right? So that is why it is like a remote. Remote is what? It's an external GitHub repository. Got it?
Okay.
With respect to
Okay.
the
Got
system,
it.
it's a
Got it.
remote. It's an external thing. Got it?
Yes,
Parag,
yes.
one quick
Got it.
question. So this I mean, the Git repository will be created by the project lead or whoever is managing the project. I mean, how exactly it
Yes,
works?
it will be dealt by the manager level and the architect level. You will not be doing it. But since we are all in the workshop, I'm teaching you everything from the scratch. Okay.
Okay, so we
So
need to
I've got
know
one
Git
question.
repository is managed by the project, and then we have to push all our code to that
Yeah, you need to
repository.
push all the changes as per the directions of your manager. Okay.
Okay, okay, got it.
So I've got one question. How can I know who is has just uploaded their codes? I mean, keeping track of everyone
I'll
codes
show you.
using
Just
Git.
give me a couple of minutes. I'll show you that also. Okay.
Okay.
Your whatever variable name you want to put and repo URL. By using this git remote add whatever variable name and repo URL, you can see what is the exact changes that have been made. Got it? Till here, okay? Till here, whatever we have discussed, it is about local repository. Got it? Till this line, whatever we have discussed is about local repository. After this line, whatever we are discussing is about remote repository only. Got it? Got the architecture, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
What I will do once I say this one, okay? By default a branch will be created. So when you're working with a git, a branch is always essential. So someone asked me what is the definition of a branch. Branch is nothing but not everyone will work on the same location, right? Like Tarun is working on some other module, Sabi is working on some other module, Maha is working on some other module. Not everyone's code will be pushed at one location, right? If it happens that way, we will lead to a conflict, right? The merging of the code should be done by some other person, that is your manager or architect. Yes, D, what is your doubt?
So this local repository is also in cloud, right?
No, local repository is within your system. There's not in cloud.
Within.
From now onwards, whatever we are doing, it's in cloud.
Okay. So we keep committing, but it's where
In the
does it
local
get saved?
repository, as the ones you are committing is to the local repository only, not to the GitHub. Okay.
No. So where does it save? In
It
our
saves in your
machine?
local system only. It saves in your local system. Where does it save means you have see this .git folder, right? All the commits will be saved here internally. You see this commit edit
Oh,
message.
okay. Uh-huh.
Okay. See, those are all something stored in some special characters or special values which you'll not understand. But internally Git will keep a track of it. D. Okay.
So I've got one question. Do you think it is advisable for developers and automation engineer to create separate branches
Yes,
on
absolutely.
Git?
You have to create separate branches. If we're not creating separate branches, it will be a mess.
And okay, and then in terms of developers, say for instance, one person is working on a login, another one is working on a different screen, maybe transaction screen.
Hmm.
Screen. So is it possible that we need two different branches, or we can merge
Yes,
the
you need
code?
to have different branches because different modules have different code bases. It is the headache of the manager to merge all the code changes. Okay,
But then it is advisable for only one person to merge that code, not two
there
separate
will be a
developers.
separate team of architects. There will be a team of managers, architects who will be working on this, not the single person in the real world. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. Now, by default, a branch will be created in your project. There is no doubt about it. But still, you want to create a separate branch, you can say grit branch. All these commands I'll be sharing you in a separate document, guys. You need not make a note of all these comments. All the comments, whatever we have discussed in the workshop, I'm giving a separate Google Doc. You will have a look. You can have a good look into it. Okay. Git branch hyphen m sample one. So this is the first branch I'm creating. Got it? So when I say git branch hyphen a, you will be seeing the list of branches that I have for me in this git repository. Got it? Now what I need to do, I have to push this code from local to git, local to remote. I have to move the changes from local to remote. How do I do it? Git git push hyphen u. Hyphen u represents what? Upstream. Upstream means what? Moving the code from local to remote. Git push hyphen u. What is the variable name? Git sessions. Git sessions. On which branch I want to move the code? Sample one. If the branch is not there in the GitHub, it will create a branch automatically. Okay. So once you use this push command, got it? This is how it pushes the code to the Git. Okay. One moment.
Mm.
Hey. Hi Priya. Tell me.
Yes, just one question. Can I still trace which code has been wrongly written by a developer from that command?
See,
I mean,
if
from
it's
GitHub,
yeah, if you are working, you will understand what is wrongly written. If Kumar is working, they will understand what is wrongly written. It's
in
impossible for
terms
you to
of
say, right?
conflicts. I mean, in terms of code merging, usually when developers
Yeah,
merge their code on Git, we have these conflicts. So then it
yeah.
happens
When there
that
is a conflict,
on
you have
Q
to pull the
environment.
developers and resolve it. You have to pull the developers and resolve it. There's no auto merging.
Okay,
If the conflict rises, you have to pull all the developers to resolve the conflicts. Okay.
okay.
So why did you add the variable in the git remote command? So always I cannot call this URL all the time, right? It should be actually stored in a variable because calling this URL every time is a cumbersome process. That is why I've created a remote add variable. So whenever I want to refer to this URL, I can use this variable name. Okay, got it today? Okay. Now the code has been pushed to the GitHub. So let us see whether it has been pushed to the GitHub or not. So if I refresh this project, you can see the project is moved to the Git. Got it? Got it, everyone? Got it, everyone? Whatever
Is
the
it the
code that is
SLC?
sorry,
Is it the SLC you are referring to?
yeah, SRC, whatever is present in my project that I have pushed it here. So you see sample
Okay.
file.txt. This is all.
Yeah.
This is the one we have created here, right, in the editor. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
whatever file is
Yes.
created, I have pushed the changes here. Got it?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Got it. Thanks. So now what I will do, I will edit this file. I'll edit this file here only. What I will do, this is the second line of data that we have. Got it? So here locally also I can edit the file and I can commit the changes. Okay. So I'll be going to the direct, I'll directly commit the file here only in the GitHub. So this will be like added new lines of data in the file. Got it? So I say commit changes. So whatever changes I have made in the GitHub, okay, whatever changes I have made in the GitHub, I have committed there only. Now, if you want to view the changes that has been changed here, if you want to view the changes that has been made here locally, what will you do? I'll
Git
be using
pull.
the command. Sorry, sorry, someone saying something.
We will use git pull.
Yeah, git pull is used to pull the code from remote to local. When you pull the code from remote to local, it will say like how many files have changed, how many lines have been inserted, how many lines have been deleted. It will give the complete description of what is what. For this particular file, how many lines have been added, how many lines have been deleted. We can see all these things using the git pull command. Got it? Now if you can see locally here, we still have the code, we have the latest changes that has been brought into our system. Got it? Got it, everyone?
Got it.
So if you are using Git for the first time now, git config double hyphen global user dot name. You need to set your user dot name like this. Okay. For the first time, for the people who are using the Git for the first time, you need to configure your username. Okay. And you need to configure your email ID. Got it? Clear? Any doubts? Any doubts, guys? Global means across the project, across the system. Okay. When you say global, it is across the system. Any doubts, guys, so far? Can I go ahead?
So what is the username?
Username is something you can give whatever you want. Previously, my
Okay.
username was SP Rahul 333. Okay. Now I
Okay.
changed my username to SPR. Okay. That's your choice. But email ID, you should
Okay.
be very careful because whatever mail ID you use, that will be the same that will be used for logging into the GitHub, right? Whatever mail ID you have
Yeah.
used for creating a GitHub account, put that mail ID only so that you can view the changes properly. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So once you have made the changes, go to the code, guys. So if you see, click on this history button, you will see what are the list of changes that has been made actually. Got it? Got it, everyone? So I will clear this commands. Now what I will do, I will create another branch, hyphen m sample 2. So I've created a separate branch. When I say git branch hyphen a, what it will show, this is sample 2, and in the remote, I have another branch called as sample 1. Got it? Got it, everyone? In the remote, I have sample 1 as my branch, and in the local repository, I have sample 2 as my branch. Clear? Now, what I'll do, I will create one more file. So now what I want to do, I will delete, see, sample file.txt. So what happens when you create a new branch? Whatever the files or data that is present in the previous branch, that will be cloned here. Okay? Clear, everyone?
I didn't get it. How it will be turned into new
That is the
branch?
default behavior of the Git. Whenever you're creating a separate branch, like whenever you're creating another branch from one branch, the code will be cloned automatically. Okay.
Okay.
Now, one quick question. You said you are creating a sample two as another branch in your local
Shekhar,
system,
can
right?
you could you be a bit louder, bit crystal clear? There's some noise coming from here.
How about now? Is it clear?
Yeah, Shekhar, go ahead.
Yeah. So you are saying that you have created sample two as another branch in your local repo, right?
Yeah, the
So
sample two
you
is
are
in the
saying that
local.
when you create sample two, the sample one also be cloned into sample two.
Yeah, sample two is cloned from sample one. Whenever I'm creating a new branch, it is cloned from the previous branch only.
Oh, okay. So why we need to create another sample project? I
The
mean sample
answer lies in
two.
your question. The answer lies in your question, Shekhar, because just now we had a discussion that Priya, that development people and architect automation people should have separate branches. As obviously, because if you don't have separate branches, the code will be merged. It will lead to conflicts because your code is not something that is always ready, right, Shekhar? Just now we had a discussion that why do we need separate branches, Shekhar?
Okay. Got it.
Git remote URL will be created. Then what I need to do? Git branch hyphen m branch underscore name. Got it? It will create a new branch. Okay, once it creates a new branch, moves the code to the remote git. Got it? Git push git push hyphen new the variable name
Yeah, I have one
underscore.
question.
Yeah.
The local branches which you are creating, will they have all the contents of the local repository?
See, local branch will have the contents of that particular branch only. Okay. The
Okay.
local repository will have the contents of all the branches, but whatever branch you are currently working on it will display the contents of those branch only. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, whenever we are creating a branch, we should remember that it will take a clone of the previous branch. When you are trying to create a second branch in your GitHub repository, it will take a clone of the previous branch. Now you say like, I will create another file here. I will say I will create another file here called as new file for sample2 branch .txt. Okay, this is a sample file for the second branch. Okay, I will say that this is a sample file for the second branch. Now what I will do, let me say git status. Got it? It is saying like this is a new file I have been created. Okay, when I say changes to be committed, that this is the new file that has been created. Okay, now you say like, Rahul, I don't want to, I mean, this file someone has been working on it, I don't want my changes to be present in my system. So I say git stash. When I say git stash na, whatever the file you have created na, that file will be deleted from your local repository as well as in your working editor. Got it? Like suppose, let me take up name, like Samaya is making working on this file without your knowledge, and you feel like Samaya has written a better code than you. Now you should be in a position like, I don't want to expose my code, by mistakenly I have created this file, but you have already but you have already added to the git. Okay, but your file is already added to the git. Now when I use git stash na, whatever the files that has been added will be removed from your local repository as well as in your working directory. Working directory means what? It will be removed from here also. Got it? Got it, everyone? The git stash command is used in a situation where you have added a file which was unnecessary and you want to remove that file. But if you remove the file locally, it will be still be there in the git. So what you need to do when you use git stash na, the file will be removed from the local repository as well as in your working editor. Got it? Got it, everyone? Is this clear? Any doubts? Now if I use git status now, your branch is up to date, nothing to commit, working tree clean. See, before git stash we had a file like, okay, this is a new file to be committed or added. The moment I use git stash now, save the working directory and index state of sample2. So it has saved the changes. It has moved the changes to the stash or a temporary location. Clear? Clear everyone? Any doubts?
Clear.
Rahul, we need to give some name also, right? For Git stash.
Not really. I mean, if you want, you can use a name also. That is fine. Since you are working on a single file, I have not used any name.
Okay.
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 So as of now, we are working on a single file. That is why I don't want to go with the name or something. That is the reason. Okay.
I
Now,
have one question. If my team member have added one file and that I don't have added while git add, then afterwards pulling new branch, do I need to add that with the git add command?
can you can you tell me again, please?
If my team member have added one file, new file,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have that added while git add command on my local repository,
Hmm.
and I pull a branch, his branch,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then I do need to again add that file which is added by my team member again with the git
No
add
need.
command.
Not if your team member has added that file and you both are working on the same file, you need not add that file again. You might feel like,
Okay.
see, if your file is there where you have just started working on it, and your team member is there who has done half the work in that file. So you feel like if you commit the changes, both of your code will be merged, which will lead to unnecessary chaos, right?
Uh-huh.
So in that situation, if you use stash now, it will be
Okay.
moved to a temporary location which we can recover it later also. If you feel like, okay, tomorrow manager says like, since he is on leave, his code is having some errors, you start working on it freshly. Got it, Anaga?
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Swati.
Yeah, just one question. So, for example, if I am working on some four projects at the same time, so in
Mhm.
that case, should I create four different files for four different projects?
Four different Git repositories. The question is, you are working with four different projects, means four different Git repositories should be there in the GitHub.
Okay.
Under
Yeah.
that four GitHub repositories, you can have multiple branches. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So, John, it will not only undo all the changes, it removes the file from your editor also, from your folder also. That is one thing you need to be very clear. We can recover them later. That is absolutely correct. We can recover them later. Got it? Now, if you want to recover that file, I'll say git stash pop. So whatever the files that are present, it will remove those files. Now you see, got it, everyone? Whatever the file I have stashed it, if I use git stash pop, the file will be removed from the stash memory and it will be added back to the normal regular git. Now if I say git status now, it is saying like new file is added. Got it? If you see in the local also, the file is added back here. Okay. Since the file is already added back, what we can do, I will say git commit -m, making the first push to the sample to branch. Okay, it is saying like one file change, one line inserted. This is the change I have made. Now what I'll do for git status. Okay, what it is saying on the branch sample to, it is what is saying like your branch is ahead by one commit. So when you compare this sample to branch with sample one, it is saying like it is already ahead by one commit. Got it? So don't ignore this message. You just ignore this message. That's completely fine. Okay. Now what we need to do, now we need to push the changes to the another repository. Git push -u. Suppose you forgot what is the variable name that you have written. If you use git remote, you will get to know what is the variable name that you have used to store the repository URL. And if you don't know what is the current branch that you are working on, git branch. If I type git branch, it will say what is the exact branch that I'm working on. If I say git remote, it will show me what is the variable name I have used. Git push -u git sessions sample2. Got it? Is this clear, everyone? Now, if you go to the GitHub, now you see two branches have been created, right? Here you see two branches have been created, and each, if you switch to the sample2 branch, then only you can see the commit history that has been made for the sample2 branch. Got it? If you switch to sample1 branch, only you can see the commit history that has been made for the sample1 branch. If you use sample2, you can see the commit history of sample2 branch also. Got it? Clear? So whenever you create a code into a separate branch, your manager will do a pull request mechanism. Like you'll be raising a pull request and your manager or architect will be looking into the code and he'll be doing it. Got it? Clear, everyone? Pull request is something I'm not showing you right now because pull request is a very big subject which I don't want to cover it as part of the free workshop because it's a very huge subject. Okay, clear? Now what I want to do in this sample2 branch, I don't want this file. I can delete this file. Got it? So I'll say git status. So it is saying like these are the changes to be committed. So what I'll do, I'll say commit m deleting the files that is present in that is cloned from the previous branch, from the sample1 branch. Okay, one file changed and 3 deletions have been made. Now what I will do, I have to use git status. It is saying like it is ahead by one commit. The current branch that is sample2 that is present in the remote, the local repository is ahead by remote repository by one commit. Obviously the local repository will have additional commits than remote repository. Remote repository means what? When I say the word remote repository, that means we are referring to GitHub. When I say local repository, that is within your system. Got it? Now when I push this changes -u, again, as I'm a lazy person who will not remember all these things, this is my URL. I mean, this is my repo URL. Git push -u sample2. Got it? All the changes will be committed to the Git. Now let me go and refresh it. Now if you see here, the sample1.txt file is not present in this sample2 branch. Clear? Is this clear, everyone? Any doubts? Priya, Dinesh, Shekhar, Maha. Is this clear, everyone?
It's okay.
Yeah.
We need the commands and a bit of practice.
Yes, that is
That will be
obviously there. Yes. When I want to switch back to sample1 branch, git switch sample1. Got it? If I use git switch sample1, you'll be switching back to the sample1 branch. Got it? Got it? I have switched back to my sample1 branch, right? Yes or no? So if you want to know after using the switch command, you want to know currently which branch I am. If you use git branch,
able to work on with JSON. That's the most trustable and the one where you don't need any third party or something. But
Priya, if you're not talking, okay, thanks. Thank you. So if I use git switch, that particular branch name, you can switch between the branches. Okay. And if you want to know which is the current branch, so out of the two branches that are present in my local repository, So whatever is highlighted in green color, that is my current branch. Got it? Got it, everyone? So for people who are confused with what is branching and all, okay, I'll give you a very clean example. There's a site here where you'll understand what is branching and what is and all. Got it? Okay. So I'm currently working on my main branch. Understand this graphical visualization very carefully. If you can understand this, then you will understand what you need to do in your real time. So when I say git commit, I'm making a new changes on my main branch. If I do one more commit, I'm making a new changes on my main branch. Okay. Now if I use if I create a branch -m feature, I'll say a branch called as feature branch. Okay, I have created a feature branch. Okay, now what I'm doing, I will commit my changes. Got it? Whatever the changes I have made in the feature branch, that will come here. So once I have created a new branch, I have to say git switch feature. Got it? Now I'm currently in my feature branch. Now what I will do, I will say git commit. When I say git commit, you see how the diagram is changing. Is everyone able to visualize this diagram? Everyone? Is everybody able to visualize this diagram? How the branching is happening? Net, Pratima, Chittaranjan, Samaya, Suren. Clear? Now, I'll commit the changes to feature branch. I can commit the changes to feature branch. Now, if I want to switch to main branch, I'll say switch main. Got it? Now I'll use git commit. Git commit. Okay. This is how commits happen within different branches internally. Clear, everyone? Any doubts? I can say one more branch like feature, new features. Okay.
When do we use WQ colon? When does that happen?
WQ colon, you will be using it when you are working with Vim editors. We are not yet working with Vim editors, right?
So when do we use Vim editors?
When do we use Vim editor? I'll show you an example. Okay. So there's a spelling mistake I made. Okay. I switch to this branch. Then I'll say git commit. Got it? This is how the branching happens in your workplace. Always remember this diagram. This is how a branching happens in your workplace. Got it, everyone? Clear? Okay. Is this visualization clear? Then I can go to the next git command. Is this clear, guys? Can I go to the next command?
Yes.
We cannot see your screen you're
Yeah,
sharing.
one moment, one moment. Just give
Okay.
me a moment. Okay. Is everyone clear with this? Okay. Madhupriya, I'll share this link later after the class is completed. So I'm stretching the session a bit so that you will have some more hands-on on the Git. Now this is the branching visualization that you need to have it in your head. If you're confused what is branching and all, how internally it works, this is the great site for you to understand how the branching is happening. Got it? So D, I don't know what's your name, is it D or not, I don't know. When I use git log now, okay, when I use git log, you'll be seeing the list of changes that I've been making it. So if you see like this, you'll not understand, you'll not understand what are the changes I've made. So when I say git log double hyphen one line, you can see what are the changes I have made to my repository in one single line. Got it? Got it? These, what are the
Yeah.
changes I've made in sample one branch. Now if you use switch sample2, you'll be switched to another branch. Now if I use git log double hyphen one line, you will be seeing what are the changes I've made to the sample2 branch. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
Git log hyphen one line. There is another logging mechanism called as git ref log. What is this git ref log? It will give a complete track of the activities that has been done in the repository for the past 90 days. It will have a track for past 90 days only. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Got it? It will say like what is the first commit you made, what is the branch you made, what was the pull you did, what was the branch you have renamed, what was the branch you have created. Reset means what do you mean by a head? Head means what? The current position, like the current branch where it is pointed to. At this
Mm-hmm.
position the head is pointed to sample one. When I created a new branch, when I created a new thing, the head means the current position of the commit, the current commit you should say. Like, just give me a moment, I'll show git log double hyphen one line. When you see here, where is my current commit locally? It is present at sample2. It, head means what? The current position where we are. Git sessions of sample2 means what? I mean, the sample2 branch that is present in the remote. So what you can infer from this, the local commits and the remote commits both are same. Nothing is ahead or nothing is behind it. Got it? Got it, everyone? Any doubts? Now, there is another way to create a branch, that is git checkout hyphen b sample 3. So what it will do, it will create a branch with a sample 3. Got it? It will take a clone of the current branch. What is the current branch where we have switched to? Sample 2. So it will take a clone of sample 2 and create a new branch called as sample 3. So this is another mechanism to switch between branches. Got it? So in this I will say,
You're not switching, you're creating a branch, right?
yeah, git checkout hyphen b sample 3 means I'm creating a branch here because the sample 3 doesn't exist. I want to create a new branch. So I've already told you how to create a branch using the git branch command. So there's
Yes.
another way of creating a branch, that is git checkout hyphen b.
Okay. Is this
Okay?
for temporary or
So,
we
so,
Permanent.
created a? Okay.
so
Permanent.
these branches will be created on local or
Local repository.
remote repository.
See, unless and until you're using git push only, it will go to the remote repository. Until then, it is in local repository only. Remember this thing
Or, or,
blindly. Okay?
or if I want to carve out a new branch from my remote repository, then what to do for that?
Yes, that is also something you can do it. If you use git pull hyphen b, then you can pull the changes. Okay? Always that is a possibility. You use git
No,
pull, all the changes will come
like
to your local.
no, my question is, I have one remote branch. And there is something new coming, and I want to create a new remote branch.
Mm-hmm.
What to do for that?
Use git pull. Whatever the remote branch you have created there, it will be created locally also if you do git pull.
I want to create a new remote branch. Not
We can see if you want to create a new remote branch, go to your GitHub. You can create a new branch here. Just a moment. You are seeing this concept, right? You can type whatever branch you want. You can create it in the remote. I'll say sample 4. Got it? This is how I create a branch in the remote. Got it?
Okay. So for this,
But
I need to come to remote repository. Not I cannot do it through Git bash.
yes, because that is something related to remote, right? You should never ever do. See, first of all, never ever create a remote branch. That's a very bad practice. First thing. Second thing, if you're trying to do that also, it'll lead to a lot of chaos. So always try to create a branch from your local, and you need to always push it. That is always the best practice. That's where tracking will be more efficient.
Can we extrapolate update our local repository first before start coding new,
Yeah, first you
enhancement
need
for
to set
developers?
your yeah, first you need to set your local repository, then only you need to move to the remote repository. Now, since our friend MD said that create a sample local sample 4 branch,
But
when I'm doing the git pull,
I need to rephrase my question. So I will explain by scenario. Like I have one project and I have branch for that, and I'm going to plan for a new project. So I need to create a separate repository for that. But I want
Mhm.
to use the first repository as base for the second one.
So you have to clone that project in your system. Okay, I'll show you a demo of it. First, you need to take a clone of this project in your system. Then you can redirect the changes to another repository. I'll showcase you that, MD. After the some concepts, I'll showcase you how do you move this code to another repository. Okay, that is the question that you want.
Yes,
Hmm?
yes, yes, yes.
So since when I'm trying to pull a command, what it is saying sample for, so this sample for branch is not present in the local repository. The disadvantage of creating a branch in the remote repository is whenever I'm trying to pull the changes will not be pulled. Why? Because this sample for is something that is not present in my local repository, right? So it is saying like there's no tracking information for the current branch. Okay. So it will say like uh, which branch you want to merge these changes. We are not here to merge our changes, right? Yes or no? We are creating a separate branch. We are not here to merge our changes from that particular branch. So you need to create a branch called as sample for locally. Then I can use git pull to pull the changes. Got it? So when I say git branch hyphen a, so how many branches are there? Sample 4, sample 1, sample 2. Okay. Okay, since this sample 3 is gone, you can use hyphen m. Okay. Okay. Now
Yeah.
what I will do, sample3 files.txt. Okay, git status. Okay, now what I'll say, git add, I'll add a specific file. Git commit hyphen m made changes for the sample3 branch. Okay, git status. It is saying like working tree is clean. Okay, push hyphen u origin. Sorry, my bad. git remote, git branch, git push -u, git sessions sample 3. Got it? Now it has created a separate repository, right? It has created a new branch called as sample 3. Got it? Got it, everyone?
Yeah, so when do we use the virtual editor?
See, the virtual editor is used whenever you want to log some, whenever you're trying to make some changes or something. Like for suppose, now if I want to change the commit message I've made here. So I don't know why are you so interested about this Vim editors or something. Yeah.
Some developers use it, some don't.
Yeah, developers use it, but we are all for testers, right? The Git workshop, what we are talking is for testers, right? Specifically, we are for testing purpose. We don't use much of a Vim, but still, if you want to make any changes,
Mhm.
okay, double hyphen git commit double hyphen amendments if you want to change the previous commit message. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one question. So right now on GitHub, you are seeing different kind of branches, right? Suppose if you want to make one final version of the application, how do they merge everything?
They merge the changes. See, for you Vim editor, for me Visual Studio is my editor. Okay. D, you got the point. I can change my editors also.
Oh, okay. Oh,
See,
this
there are
is.
3 editors. One is
Oh,
Nano.
you're an editor now.
This,
Okay.
yeah, my Vim. Sorry, there are 3 editors in Git. One is Vim, one is Visual Studio Code, one is Nano. I prefer working
Oh,
with Visual Studio Code. That is why I came here. Okay, because it has this
okay.
new nice GUI, nice look and feel. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
got it.
Yeah. And
This
then
is my message I've done.
the way you close this is using Shift
Using the close, I'll
WQ.
be closing it, and whatever the changes I made it here, it will come here. Got it?
Okay. Thank
If as soon as I close my Visual Studio, it will come here. The problem with
you.
Vim is like you need to use WQ, you need to use insert, and all this headache is there. I don't want that headache. Okay.
Correct. Correct. So automatically it opened.
Automatically it opened because
Okay.
I configured that is my editor.
Oh, you configured
As
it. Uh-huh.
I configured the editor as Visual Studio Code. Okay.
Okay.
So if you see git log one line, okay. Now which branch I am in? So whatever the commit, whatever the changes I have made, it has occurred here, right? So I've modified the existing commit message. You got the point?
Yeah.
You got, everyone got the point? I've just modified the commit message. Once I've modified the commit message, I have to forcefully push this commit message to my repository, right? Yes or no? Where is this? I'm on sample 3. So if you see this commits now, made changes for the sample 3 is there. Okay. Okay. So I've changed my commit message. So as soon as I change my commit message, it is saying like, see, as soon as I change my commit message, it is saying like there's a merge conflict here. You got the point? D and others. As soon as I change my commit message, it is saying like there is a merge conflict here. That means what? Your branch and git sessions slash sample 3 have diverged. You're having one different commits each. You got the
Mm-hmm.
point? But in this situation, what did I do? I just changed my commit message. You got the point? I just changed my commit message. So what did I do? What I have to do in this situation, I have to forcefully push the changes. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
git push hyphen force get sessions sample 3. I'm forcefully pushing my changes, guys. You see, it's a forced
I didn't
update.
get it down. Because when there is a conflict in merging, then also why we are forcing the push?
Here, the situation is I've just changed my commit message. That is why I'm forcefully pushing it. Okay.
Okay.
In this situation, I've just changed my commit message only. Apart from that, nothing has been done. Okay. Next.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
See,
Thanks.
based on a situation, you have to forcefully push it. If you forcefully push it for unnecessary reasons, then you will be under the risk. So I've used this situation because I have changed my commit message only. If you see here, you can see the modified commit message here in the repository. As soon as I forcefully push the changes, you can see the updated commit message. Got it?
Yeah. Okay.
Clear?
Yeah. Thanks.
So why did you require to make changes forcefully? Was it not
Because I changed
happen?
my commit message. See, here what is happening, GK? I've changed my commit message. If I don't forcefully push now, it will lead to a merge conflict, which will make your repository go into some overdrive mode. So in this situation, I have to forcefully push the changes because I've just made a change to the commit message. I've not added any new files. I've not deleted any files. I'm not doing anything. I've just made some changes. I've just made a changes to the commit message. That is it. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Is this clear, JK? The point is the options of forcefully pushing is something you need to be very clear of when to push and when not to push. Okay. Okay. Now let us see sample 2 and sample. So let me switch to sample 2. So in sample 2, I have one file. Yeah. Okay. In sample 2, I have one file. Now what do you want to do? I want to merge the changes. Okay. I want to merge the changes between two branches. Okay. I'll show you this I'll show you this merge in a graphical representation. Now what do you want to do? I want to merge this feature into this new feature. Got it? Okay. I want to merge this feature into this new feature. So what I'll say, git merge with feature. So what is happening here? Got it? All the changes of this. Okay. Okay. Currently I'm in new feature. So whatever the changes of this feature is there now, it'll all be combined here. Got it? What I'm telling, merge all this code changes with the feature branch. So what is happening? Whatever the commits are there here, it will all be merged to the feature branch. Got it, everyone? That means all the changes have been combined here. Clear? Any doubts? Any doubts, guys, so far? So this is how I merge between two branches. This is what is happening. Now if I use git commit, what will happen? Again it will create a separate commits. Now till here the code has been merged. Now if you want to still continue working on this branch, you can still use git commit to continue working on this branch. Or else if you want to work with this branch, if you want to continue working on the feature branch, yes, you can continue. Got it, guys? After merging, it is your choice whether you want to continue working in the merged branch or in the current branch is up to you. Got it? So I am in sample 2. So I'll switch to okay. I'll say git to merge sample 3. So what is happening? All the changes, whatever is present now, I'm moving it to sample 3. Got it? Got it? Whatever the files that has been present in sample 2 na, sample 3 na, it will all be coming into sample 1. Got it? Got it, everyone? What, git to merge sample 3. That means what? Whatever the code that is present in sample 3, I'm merging all the changes in sample 1. Got it? Now what I will do, I will say git status. Now what I have to do, I have to push the changes. Git to push hyphen u. Got it? Now I have pushed all the changes to the sample 1. So whatever the code I have merged, I have pushed it to sample 1 here. Now if you switch to sample 1, got it? What is happening? All the merges has been happened here. All the commits that are present here, it has been completed. If you see here, so whatever the changes that has been made in the sample branch 3, all the files have been merged into the sample 1, this sample 1 branch. So if you want to see the logs, git log double hyphen 1 line. If you see here, got it? If you see here, what is happening here? Whatever the change, it is here saying that I'm currently at sample 1 branch, but what is happening in the remote? The sample 3 and sample 1 code has been merged into sample. The sample 3 code is merged into sample 1. Got it? If you actually view the ref log, you can see the exact changes that has been happened here. Got it? Got it? If you see git ref log, you will see the exact activities that we have done here to reach this stage. So I've switched to sample 1 branch. Then what it is saying, merged the code with sample 3. I'm currently in sample 1 branch. I've merged the code with sample 3. Got it? When I merge the code with sample 3, all the files of sample 3 will move into sample 1. That is how your managers will work on merging the code. Got it? Got it, everyone? Clear? Any
So,
doubts so far?
so, so with merge sample 3, you're actually merged with the new feature you just showed in the
Yes. I'm
flow, right?
merged whatever the code that is present in sample 3, I'm pulling it and merging with sample 1 and storing it in
Okay.
sample 1. Okay?
Mm.
Got it? So MD is MD available here? No.
I've got
Okay.
one question. Is it possible for each developer to merge
Yes,
their
yes, I
codes
am here.
to a
So
specific branch?
see, developers can also merge, but it is suggestible always by the architects or the leads to merge the changes. But merging is not done like that simply. They'll be creating a pull request mechanism. So what happens with the pull request mechanism in the real time? The lead will review all the changes that you have written in the code. Pull request means what? That means you're requesting the lead to merge the changes with the main branch. So before merging the changes, you'll be raising a pull request. But what happens when you do a pull request? The lead will verify all your changes and he will validate whether each and everything is working properly or not. If it is okay, then only will approve the changes to the merge main branch. Got it? That is what happens in
Okay.
real time. Just to showcase you the things of what happens end to end. That is why I did this point. Else, ideally, you should. Ideally, you cannot merge the code by yourself. Only leads architects will merge the code. They'll put a pull request mechanism, PR, or
So,
a pull request mechanism for you to merge the changes.
so you have not created a pull request yet, right? You have been
Yes,
working.
because this is my local repository. I'm the only
Oh.
developer, so I can have the control over my complete repository. When you're working with other people, na, then I'll enable a policy called as pull request. I'll not allow anyone to merge it. In the enterprise edition of the Git, that is Bitbucket or Azure TFS or something. At the enterprise level, we assign this roles or priorities, like who will be in a position to approve the PR and merge the changes, who should be in a position to just commit and push the changes to that particular branch. There are some roles that has been laid down in the enterprise edition. Got it?
So in this here, trying to understand when do we create a pull request?
Whenever you commit the changes and push it to the repository, that is when automatically the pull request will be created. Okay, if you see here,
Uh-huh.
if you have seen here, okay, see sample 3 here, recent pushes 15 minutes ago. This will be visible to the lead. Then they can see the pull request automatically. Okay,
Okay, the minute we commit, there is a automatic pull
and push.
request
The minute we push, the developer, the lead
pushed.
will get this details like whoever has made the changes and all.
So even though we
I
are
mean,
working in our local repository,
not in local repository.
mm, uh,
As soon as you push the changes to the remote repository, only they will get this message. Whatever you have done in
push,
local is push.
git
After the push,
push.
only they
Okay,
can see it.
okay. And commit is in local. Push is
Commit
in,
is in local. Push is in remote.
okay. The minute we do push, and we have to keep push to get the latest code into our, we
Remote
need to get
repository.
merge main, right? How do we keep our local repository current with the main?
See, that is what I told you now. You need to switch between branches. You need to commit the
Uh,
changes. Once you commit the changes, you need to see whenever you're committing the changes. First, you need to take a pull of the changes for the branch that someone is working on it. Then
mhm.
you need to push the changes, right? There's
Okay.
a process. If you're working with a team, first you need to pull the changes for the work changes that you have done. Then you need to commit your changes. Then you need to push it. You got the point? D, you got the
Pull,
point? There's a process.
pull, pull, um, and then there'll be merge conflicts, make it, then
See, the
commit,
merge
and then
conflicts.
push. Yeah,
Yeah, merge
happens
conflicts.
here.
See, merge conflicts occurs when you are committing that file and when the other person also committed the file and it didn't know what to do. Okay, both of you modified the file. Okay,
Hmm. So
at
when
the
we're
same
trying
positions
to,
you
we pull
yeah,
from main, we
yeah,
when we
and
try
you
to
also made
commit
some changes.
in the
See,
same
when you are
area.
trying to yeah, when you're trying to commit in the same area and even that person also trying has already committed, and when you're trying to pull before you commit I mean before you have added to the git,
Mm-hmm.
then only the merge conflict rises. Okay,
Mm-hmm. And then we
merge
push.
conflicts is a huge subject. D, it's a huge subject. If we keep on discussing, there are multiple reasons for merge conflicts. Only thing we
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to do is
I understand. I understand merge conflict, but yeah, thank you for helping understand this.
yeah.
So,
So for this,
so
yeah,
here it whenever we push, it creates a pull request, right?
it
So,
creates a request to pull. I mean, it creates a pull request automatically in this. But when you're working with enterprise edition, na, there are two
uh-huh.
ways. Automatic pull request it will be there, or manually you have to raise a pull request.
Ah,
In
automatically
enterprise, that
and
is a
manually.
feature. You get it.
Okay.
This is my personal
And
GitHub.
and if we want somebody to review our pull request, unless we just have to ask them to review, right? Otherwise, it
Yeah.
will continue.
Unless and until you raise a PR only, they'll review. If you are not raising a PR, they'll not review it. Okay.
After raising a PR, if we
Pull
want
request.
somebody else to review, we just have to ask them to review. Else, it will just be
See,
created.
you need not say someone to review your code. Automatically, the
Uh-huh.
review process will happen.
Oh, the minute we push. But we're not
The
ready
minute,
to commit, merge to main. Then,
yeah, to merge, you have to raise a pull request. If you raise a pull request only, they will merge the changes. Okay.
so here, see, I'm a little confused. Whenever we push, it creates a pull request.
See, there are two ways for pull request in enterprise edition. One is automatic pull request, or one is manual pull request. I have told you this point right just now.
Yes. Uh-huh.
In enterprise edition, most of the things what they do is they will give the option of creating a manual pull request. Manually, you have
Mm-hmm.
to create a pull request.
Mm-hmm.
So currently I'm not using any enterprise edition to showcase you that. I'm so sorry for that, but I'm not using any enterprise edition. It's a free version of GitHub I'm using. Okay.
No, I understand that. So when we push, it creates automatically pull request.
Request
But
currently. But
but
if your organization states like manually you have to create a pull request, then you have to manually create a pull request. For this commit ID, this is a PR I'm raising. Then your developer lead or manager or architect will see those changes. If he's okay with it, then he'll merge the changes into the main branch. Okay.
so if I want to keep working on my branch,
Hmm.
unless I'm not pushing, no, it doesn't matter, right? As long as I'm keeping my branch current while
See,
by pulling.
as long as you're very much clear about the comments that your team members are doing and the work that you're doing, as long that is clear, there is no issue. As long there is no clarity between the work that your team members and you are doing, there comes the merge conflicts. Keep it
Uh-huh.
clear that way.
Okay. So commit will create, of course, it will create merge conflicts, but I can still be in my branch working and not the minute I push, that's when pull request will happen.
Okay, the minute you push only the pull request happen. Remember this.
Okay.
There's no other
Okay.
second option. The merge conflicts happens whenever you're making any changes in your file and you added that file into the Git and you did not take a pull request. Generally, when you should do
Mm.
a pull request, when you're working on that, before working on that file, you have to take a pull. You have
Mm.
not taken the pull. Now you have made some changes and added that file into the, you have added that file into the Git and later you did Git pull. That is where merge conflict starts.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
So
and until you have not,
best
sorry?
practices to keep pulling the latest changes and
Yeah, before you start working, pull
committing
the latest changes.
and keep committing.
Yes, keep committing.
Push is when it's
When you're
visible to
pretty
the
sure,
team members. Uh-huh.
when you're pretty sure that everything is working fine in your local system, then you push that commit ID. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How will the developer create a manual pull request?
That is done by the DevOps team. There's a separate DevOps team for that. They will be managing all the settings. The developer
Okay,
won't
so
do.
there is no git command for all that things.
Yes. That is done by the
Okay.
manual. The Git admins will be there. They'll be giving you the Git admin access to the DevOps team. They'll be handling all this. You will not be
Okay.
having that.
So I've
Okay.
got
Thank
one
you.
question. How can we manage conflicts during code merging?
See, Priya, now see, where is D? D is working on that file. You are working on the file. You both have a conflict. You both need to sit and resolve it. There's no auto merge. Okay.
Okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
See, manually you have to sit and do it. Git is also smart. Git has done its job of merging the code. Still, there is,
Mm-hmm.
if it feels still like it's a conflict, then you both have to sit together and fix the conflict. There's no other choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is it, guys. Like
I
actually, it should be for. Yeah. Tell me. Tell me, John.
Yeah, one quick question. I heard about merge tool. So some organization I have seen it, but some organization they don't have it. So is it a third party tool we install in the Git, or is it come
See,
from the
there
Git
are a lot of
dev?
third-party tools for merge conflicts to say, like even in IntelliJ also, we can say whenever there's a merge conflict, it will show it in the editor that you want to resolve the merges or you want to take the changes that is present on the left or right. There are
Correct, correct.
various third-party editors to showcase you, to give you the comparison of why the merge conflict is coming. Okay.
Okay.
See, the third
Thank
party tools, whatever you're talking about, they will describe you, they will showcase you what are the exact changes that you're able to, what are the, why the merge conflict is coming, at which lines it is coming. It will showcase you that part, but it will not auto merge for you.
Yeah, auto match is not possible and recommended also because we have to decide what lines to keep.
Hmm. Yes, there are a lot of third party editors, and within the IntelliJ also, you have that option of viewing the merge conflicts in a graphical way. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Like, see,
So
if we keep on, yeah. Yeah, D, go ahead.
yeah, so I do see git merge main by my team members.
Hmm.
Uh, git merge main. Why? Because they are committing, right?
See,
It's
when
a
do they do
commit
git merge? When do they do git merge? If the
to bring
manager,
the
if they connect,
latest,
when they
to
say like,
bring
when they
to
do it.
bring to bring the they're pulling.
Yes.
No?
When they're working with other modules, manager will say like, I want to merge, I have to merge my changes with this other branch. Like your team member may be maybe told by the manager that you have to merge the changes, right? When you're trying to merge the changes, not everything pull request is required in that situation. But that means what? Now we have worked till yesterday.
Mm.
He is working on a module which is interlinked to your module. So what he needs to do, he has to merge the changes of both the codes. So he'll talk to the manager, he will get their approval and then merge the changes. Okay. D, merging changes is not like a personal choice. They will have to go
Correct.
through a proper approval process. Then only you will have giving the permission to merge it. Okay.
So git merge main is not to pull. Git pull is different. Git merge main is
Merge is
different.
different. Both are separate context. Git merge is
Okay.
combining changes. Git pull is fetching the latest changes from that branch.
Okay. I got confused there, I guess.
Okay. Okay. No. Yeah, Swati, tell me.
Yeah, just one question. So, for example, in my team, if we are like four automation testers in my team, so four of
Mm.
us we are writing four different module test cases.
Mm.
So four of us finally we want to merge everything into the central repository. In that situation,
Mhm.
how we have to go ahead in this example, please?
You have to do a cherry picking of each and everyone's commit IDs. You have to create a separate branch called as master. Then you have to cherry pick each and every commit ID. So since we have ran out of time, like actually it's a 1 hour workshop, but I stretched it till 2 hours. So this is like a separate concept I would like to say. Git cherry pick. There's a separate concept called as cherry pick where we pick each and every commit ID from four of your automation testers and I will merge them into the main branch. Got it?
Yeah, got it. Yeah, okay. So then when we merge into the main branch for all the four automation testers scripts,
Mm.
so then we can start running them in CI/CD pipeline, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, since our course workshop has been delayed by more than 1 hour, that is why I'm not covering most of them. I will try talking to the team and I'll see like when I can organize this another Git workshop part two so that you can all we can all see the cherry pick and all. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you so much. This session is very helpful, Rahul. Thank you for all the information.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Vasan, tell me. Quick. Okay, Vasant, please tell me what is your question. Okay. Yeah, DMD, go ahead.
Yeah, you were supposed to explain that creating new branch or remote
Okay.
repository.
Okay, fine. Let me create a new let me create a new repository. Okay. Now what I have done. Hmm? Okay. Now this is something which I
We
have done.
cannot see your screen.
Your screen is not
Oh,
shared.
okay, okay. I thought I'm done with the session. That is why I closed it. So Vasant, you should never work with two different Git accounts from the same laptop or same box. You should always work with one Git account only. Ideally, when you're working in the companies also, you should always work with one Git account only. Because even though if you're working with the VM also, you'll be given a separate Git account from that vendor to push the changes. Okay. I hope I have cleared your question, Vasant. Got it? Now, what is your question, MD? Now you want to move all the changes of this previous repository to the new repository, right? Hmm?
Yes, yes, yes.
So there are two ways to do it. There are two ways to do it. So there will be option called as fork. Okay. So here there will be a concept of fork, MD. If you use, see, since I am working in my same repository, that is why I cannot fork. But if you want to have the same repository in a different URL, na, you can use this fork concept to copy the same code into your another Git remote repository. Got it? MD, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes.
You can use this fork mechanism to create a clone of this repository into your account. Okay, since this is a public repository, you can use this fork option to create a copy of this repository into another. Got it?
Rahul, I've got one question. Can we link it to Jira?
Sorry, Priya, tell me.
Can we link GitHub to Jira?
Yeah, that is what
Jira.
happens when we link it to Jira, because whenever you raise a defect, now what does developers do? This is the exact commit ID that we are trying to use to showcase that this is the commit ID that we have used to fix this issue, right? At this particular commit only we are used to fix this issue. Got it?
But is there any command that we need to write it to connect
No,
it
no,
to Jira?
nothing like that. This GitHub and Jira will be integrated. Your Git won't be integrated. GitHub and Jira will have an integration. There
So
it
we
will
need
happen.
to, yeah, we need to, I mean, maybe there are some properties or something that we have to do on Jira
See,
to
that
link
will
it
be
to.
purely done. That will be done by your admin team. Actually, this GitHub and Jira integrations will be done by your admin team. That is not your headache.
Okay.
So they'll give you a
Yeah.
plugin like for this fix. What is the exact commit ID you have used to fix this code? So you need to pull that
Mm-hmm.
commit ID into that. That is your job. The integration part is something we will not be taking care of it.
So my understanding is you just write a ticket number, Jira ticket number in your branch naming convention, or create a pull
See,
request from the
like
Jira
there will be a
ticket.
separate thing. If you think from a development perspective, for the bug fixing, they'll be having a separate branch. Whatever the bugs that are fixed, now they'll fix in that bug fixing branch. They will test it properly in their integration, and they'll move it to the QA branch, the QA Git repository. So whenever they feel like it is fixed properly, na, they will mention that as per this commit ID, the code is fixed properly once after the merging is done. Okay, from which branch we have taken? What is the merge ID? When you want to merge from branch A to branch B, Vasant, stick like switch to a branch A. When you use git to merge branch B, whatever the code that is present in branch B will be combined with branch A. Vasant, clear? Okay. Got it, MD? You got the point? First, I have used git clone to get the latest code from another repository into my system. Then I have initialized this project to the git. Got it? MD, are you
Yes,
able to see it?
yes, yes, I'm saying.
First, I've cloned the changes. Then I've used git init to initialize this folder as a git repository. Then I have to add all the files. Got it?
Yes. Can you explain once more, this thing? Like commands what we are doing here?
See, generally when you're working in office now, you have to fork the repository. We should never do this way, because when you're working in an enterprise edition or when you're working with companies now, you are supposed to fork this branch. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Forking means what? Same like a clone. Clone means I'm getting the code from remote to local. When I do fork now, it is like you're copying the code from one remote repository to another remote repository. Got it?
Yes.
Since this is a public repository, I will give you this public repository URL. If you use the same fork command in your GitHub account, na, all the code what you have written, it will come into your GitHub account. Got it?
Yes.
That is the concept of fork. The common interview question that you always get it is, what is the difference between clone and fork? That is a common interview question. Clone means the code will be coming into your system. Forking means what? The code will be created. It will create a clone of the code in the remote repository. Got it?
Yes.
Got it?
Yes, I got it. Just you can just explain these commands once. Like first we created one new folder and then we cloned a repository there.
Okay. If you do not mention any branch name now, by default it will be pushed into a master branch. Okay. Okay, let me create a branch. Got it? So got it? Okay. There's some issue here. Okay. Okay. So MD, you better fork the code. I will give you a separate example for this pushing into a remote branch, because what is happening here, there's a submodule issue that is coming up. Let me go through it and I'll connect with you personally on this thing. Okay. Since the time is
Okay.
exceeding a bit, that is why I'm in a rush to go to another thing. So actually the time is up, so that is why I'm in a hurry. So let me do this thing again for you separately. You can get connected onto me tomorrow at the same time, so that I will showcase you this example in a better way. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Thank you.
So actually the time has been exceeded. That is the thing. I'm so sorry for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Hi,
Thank you very
Rahul.
much.
Are you offering any other training programs on Selenium or any other thing?
Yes, I'm offering trainings on Selenium that we do offer. You can connect with our team for more updates on that training.
Okay.
Okay. Since the time has been exceeded by almost 1.5 hour, so that is the reason I'm just rushing it up. Else, I would love to cover more topics, but the time limit is 1 hour, but we are taking more 2.5 hours. Yeah. So when will you share the recording? The team will keep you posted, Mahida. That's something team will update you.